Hello, welcome to the Python Basics episode 3. In this episode, as I discussed last time, we'll be seeing classes and functions of Python. Hi, Pushparaj here. So basically, classes and functions of Python have two categories. One is user-defined and another one is predefined. So we will be looking at predefined classes and functions. This episode will be a multi-part episode in which I'll be going over each of those classes and their related predefined functions. So first we'll be starting with numbers. So if you have seen my first episode, you know that numbers have four different data types, that is int, float, long and complex. And numbers also has as a data structure, it also has four classes as int, float, long and complex. So here I will be demonstrating int class and will be working over some mathematical functions that are present in that int class and that can be used on those classes or those variables of int, long, float and complex. So I have done a code here which takes two dynamic inputs and performs some functions. So here you can see that first function is log function, which is categorized under math package. Python has modularized different functions into different packages which we have to import in order to use them. So I am demonstrating the math package here and I will give the link for these two packages in the description. So first function is log function, which takes the log of the given input x and gives output as the log value of that x. Second is isNaN function. IsNaN function basically checks if the value is null or not. This is useful in database creation or data processing, where you have to check column values which have null values and which are not null. The third function I have used is factorial. It gives the factorial of the y variable, which is 5, and its factorial is 120. And another function that I have used is ceil. Ceil function, what basically does is it rounds up the value of the given value to the nearest full integer or full number. For here, the input is given as the log of 12 and the closest value to that value is 3. So how to access these functions? Math dot is the accessible variable which you can use to access all these functions which are present in that package. Similar goes with random and fractions. You can experiment these different functions using different values. So next up is strings. So as I said in my first video, where I described string as a data type, you cannot use str variable name as it is also a class in Python. So we will stick to hello str1 and describe hello world. I'm deliberately using different cap lock values. So string has 40 plus built-in functions which are helpful for demonstrating and implementation of various functions and various attributes that are needed in data processing or in creating string structures. So first up is capitalize. All of these are accessed using the string object, that is str1. Here it is considered as object of str class. So if you see above, I have multiple cases here, uppercase and lowercase, but capitalized has only uppercase the first character of the sentence. Next we will go with ends with. So what is this function length len of str? Len of str is an essential function which you need to calculate the length of the given string. This function is more useful and you need it in many other programming formats where you need to have the length of the whole string, may it be multi-line string or a paragraph or a whole document, where this length of the string str will calculate each letter and number of characters in it and display out to you. So I have done a small d check if the hello world ends with small d. It does not end with small d. So let's check it for capital D. So next function is find. Find function basically does this. It searches for a given substring or a string in the main string. Yes, it is present. It will give the start index of that string. So 0, 1. The substring starts at first index, that is here. Similar to find, next is index. The big difference between index and find is if the substring is not present in the main string, the find function will give you a -1 index, whereas index function will give you a error. So let's try those both again. So we haven't used a anywhere, so we'll go with a. That's -1 for find because there is no character a in this whole string, whereas if we go with index, it gives an error like substring not found. Similar to ends with, you can also have different functions that can check if the string is having only characters or only numbers. So I will define a different string here. So why did I define a new string? Because the function that I am using is alnum, needs to have both integer and string variables in it, like characters in it. So if I go with str1 here, it will give false because both number and alphabets are not present in that string. So is lower. str1 again, dot lower is lower. So this will check if the whole string is in lowercase or not. False. Similar goes with is upper, where is upper checks if the whole string is in uppercase or not. So Not only checking, but you can convert those into uppercase or lowercase as well. Just remove is from the prefix and just use upper or lower. It will turn the string into those cases. Similarly, you can change the string to title case. If you don't know what title case is basically each word after space or beginning of the string, each letter of the string will before, after space and starting character will be capitalized. Here you can see it. All the words have mixed cases, but only W and H have been kept as capitalized. All others have been in lowercase. So there are 40 plus functions, as I said earlier. You can experiment this using defining your own string, multiple strings, or using a paragraph as well to check the length of the string, and you can experiment those as you need. So that's it in this first part of episode 3. I'll be covering next list and tuple in the next episode of part 2 of episode 3. Hope you like this video and subscribe to the channel.